Port of Greenstone resolution for the EMS strategic
Okay.
plan.
Okay. Any disclosure of interest? No? Presentations? None? Minutes of the previous council meeting, Monday, February 1st. Any errors or omissions? No? See none? Okay. Okay, I need a mover and a seconder to pass the minutes. Gord and Sarah. Moved by Gord, seconded by Sarah, be it resolved that the minutes of Monday, February 1st, 2021 regular meeting of council be approved as presented. All in favor? Okay, bylaws. Okay, the Corporation of the Township of Red Rock bylaw 2021-1225, being a bylaw to adopt a policy for sale and other disposition of land. Whereas section 270 subsection 1 of the Municipal Act 2001 RSO requires that a municipality shall adopt and maintain policies with regard to its sale and other disposition of land. And whereas the Council of the Township of Red Rock, in the interest of transparency and accountability, deems it desirable to establish policies with respect to sale and other disposition of lands by the Township of Red Rock. Now therefore the Council of the Corporation of the Township of Red Rock enacts as follows. 1, a policy with respect to the sale and other disposition of lands by the Township of Red Rock be established as set out in policy statement attached hereto as Schedule A and forming part of this bylaw. 2, this bylaw shall come in force and take effect upon final passing. 3, this bylaw be cited for all purposes as Township of Red Rock sale and disposition of land, bylaw 2021-1225. Read a first and second time, the 16th. I'm going to read the policy now. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Schedule A to disposition of real property bylaw 2021-1225. Township of Red Rock policy statement, sale of other disposition of land. The purpose of this policy is to ensure that the sale and other disposition of municipality-owned land is done in a transparent and consistent manner, allowing the public notice, appropriate department head and our council approval, and appropriate audit checks. Definitions. For the purpose of this policy, the following terms shall have the meanings indicated. Appraisal shall mean a written opinion as to the amount that the real property might be expected to realize if sold in the open market by a willing seller to a willing buyer. An appraisal of the fair market value may consist of either or both of A, an estimate or opinion valued prepared by a licensed realtor or property appraiser, B, an estimate of value prepared by employees of the township based on raw land cost, development, overhead, and carrying cost. It may include an allowance for profit. Clerk, the clerk of the Township of Red Rock. Council, the council of the Corporation of the Township of Red Rock. Disposal, the sale or lease of real property for a period 21 years or longer. Economic development land sale. The determination by council of the Corporation of the Township of Red Rock that a contemplated land sale is appropriate as it would facilitate desired community economic development. Notice to the public by way of advertisement in a newspaper having local circulation and by posting on the Township of Red Rock webpage. Open meeting, a meeting of the council of the Corporation of Township of Red Rock, open to the public. Real property includes properties designated as residential, commercial, industrial, open space, institutional, hazard land, rural land, and reserve. Township, the Corporation of the Township of Red Rock. Surplus lands. Prior to the disposal of any real property, the council shall by resolution passed at any open meeting declare the real property to be surplus. Property determined to be surplus. All real properties determined by council to be surplus and available for sale to the general public and include in a real estate listing agreement. 1. Appraisals. Except for disposals of those classes of properties or to the classes of public bodies exempted by the Municipal Act, council shall, prior to the disposal of real property, obtain at least one appraisal of the property. 2. Listing agreements. That's 2A. Council shall pass a bylaw at any open meeting to establish the market selling price of the property by a certified appraiser, and 2. Authorize an execution of real estate listing agreements and that the sale of the respective properties for the listed prices. Note B, notice to the public shall be given a minimum of 5 days prior to the adoption of the bylaw, authorizing the proposed sale, giving the general location of the property. 3. Exemptions. The above provision does not apply to the sale or other disposition of property under Section 110 of the Municipal Act 2001 RSO, Municipal Capital Facilities. B. The above provision does not apply for the sale of land under Part 11 Municipal Act 2001 RSO, Tax Arrears. The above provision does not apply to the sale of land in Part 4 Municipal Act 2001 RSO, Community Improvement. The above provision does not apply to the sale of land deemed to be for the purpose of economic development land sale. Property determined not to be surplus. All real property not previously determined by council to be surplus, including property of which unsolicited offers of purchase are received, are defined as the property not determined to be surplus. 1. The provision of surplus lands, with the exception of the notice provision, shall apply to unsolicited purchase offers for any real property owned by the township and which council deems to be expedient to sell. 2. Offers to purchase, sale, or agreement shall be submitted to the clerk of the township for disposition of by council. Sale of vacant lots. A vacant lot is defined as a lot which does not contain or an established principal use under the township most current zoning bylaw. 1. A site plan with proposed development shall be provided with all unsolicited purchase offers for vacant lands owned by the township. 2. Development of the property shall commence within 1 year and be completed within 3 years of the closing date of the transaction, or the property will return to the ownership of the township. Certificate of sale. The clerk may issue a certificate with respect to sale of land by the township, verifying that to the best of his or her knowledge, the requirements of this section of the bylaw, which applies to the sale of land, has been complied with. The fee for this certificate is $50. 2. The certificate under the section shall be included with the deed or transfer of land, and unless a person of whom the land is sold has notice to the contrary, shall be deemed to be sufficient proof that this section has been complied with. Exclusions. 1. The requirement to obtain an appraisal does not apply to the sale of the following classes of land. A. Land 0.3 meters or less in width acquired in connection with an approval or decision under the Planning Act. B. Closed highways, if sold to an owner of land abutted the closed highway. C. Land formerly used for railway lines, if sold to an owner of land abutting the former railway land. D. Land that does not have direct access to the highway, if sold to the owner of the land abutting the land. E. Land repurchased by an owner in accordance with Section 42 of the Explorations Act. F. Land sold under Section 103 and 108 of the Municipal Act 2001. G. Land sold under Section 28 to 33 of the Municipal Act 2001. H. Land sold for purposes of economic development. Or I. Easement granted to public utilities or telephone companies. 2. The requirement to obtain an appraisal does not apply to the sale of land to the following public bodies. A. A municipality. B, a local board including a school board or conservation authority, or C, the Crown is right of Ontario or Canada and their agencies. Whew. Okay. Now I need a mover and a seconder.
I move.
Cam,
Yes.
anyone else? Gord. Moved by Cam, seconded by Gord. Be it resolved that a bylaw be introduced, being a bylaw to adopt a policy for sale and other disposition of land be read a first and second time, number 2021-1225. All in favor? Okay, I need a mover and a seconder. Okay, moved by Sarah, seconded by Melissa, be resolved that a bylaw introduced, being a bylaw to adopt a policy for sale and other disposition of land be read a third and finally passed, number 2021-1225, and the sale of municipality placed thereon. All in favor? Okay. Okay, correspondence. Sorry, I need a little sip here. So this is a letter from Red Rock Legion Ladies Auxiliary. The Red Rock Legion Ladies Auxiliary would like to thank all the organizations, businesses and individuals who donated so generously to the Christmas Cheer Fund this year. We helped 18 families, including 16 children, this Christmas. Without the support of the organizations, businesses, and individuals of Red Rock, we would not be able to continue this Christmas tradition. Ladies Auxiliary. I'm glad families were assisted and had a great Christmas. Okay, COVID-19 vaccine distribution task force. So this is from the General Rick Hillier. This was sent February 5th, 2021. So as you know, ongoing vaccine shipment delays and reduced shipments have forced us to pivot from the plan we had made for larger shipments of vaccines. However, a pivot does not mean that we have changed our goals. Quite the opposite. It has given us the opportunity to prove that we can refocus our efforts while needed, while continuing to work on logistics and plan to be ready for the vaccines to arrive. Due to the delays, the vaccine shipments, we updated our goal of completing the administration of first doses of COVID-19 vaccines to residents in each long-term care, high-risk retirement and First Nation elder care homes from February 5th to February 10th. However, at this time of this memo, we have been able to offer first doses to residents in over 80% of the homes. The moment that the vaccines are delivered this week, teams in public health unit will move immediately to get them to the remaining homes. I do know that Nippigan Hospital, everyone that works there, I believe, plus all the residents, have all received their first doses, which is great to hear. Ministry of Natural Resources and Forestry.
That's just information here, Bishop.
Okay, I'm just going to read this one little part. So this, it's gone through the process. So approved forest management plan inspection for the Black Spruce Forest 2021-2031 forest management plan. This stage 5 notice is to advise you that the MNRF approved FMP, including the supplementary documentation and FMP summary, are available electronically for the inspection for the 10-year duration of the FMP through the Office of Sustainable Forest Licensing. So they can go on their website and check that out. Okay, reports from municipal officers. So CAO has a little something later, but nothing here except for the payment vouchers. So I need a mover and a seconder.
I move.
Cam and Sarah. Okay, moved by Cam, seconded by Sarah. Be it resolved, the following payments be approved. Total amounts of $72,498.90. All in favor? Okay, Public Works. Blair.
Good evening. I'll start with water treatment and distribution. So a drinking water system update. The Red Rock drinking water system 2020-2021 compliance inspection report was released on January 28th. There are 3 issues of non-compliance that have actions required pending and are to be resolved and reported to the assigned inspector by March 12th. A meeting with Aqua is planned on the week of February 15th to address the non-compliance issues. So we had that meeting today, actually. So we have a plan to address these issues, and we should have everything resolved by the due date. An extension has been granted for the renewal application by the MECP, the Ministry of Environment, Conservation and Parks, for the Red Rock Drinking Water Works permit. The extension will allow Aqua to aid with the details involved in the renewal process. A conference call has been scheduled to discuss a new timeline for the completion of the application. So we also discussed that today as well. So I believe we have a meeting at the end of the week on Friday. Furnace repair and new thermostats were installed from the staff electrician at the water tower building. Weekly water samples were collected and sent to ALS laboratory from January 18th to February 12th, when we didn't have any adverse test results from those samples. Hydrant checks were completed the week of February 1st. Water meter readings were done for the month of February January, on February 5th. UV sensor verifications were performed at the water plant in January, and standby power was tested at the water plant for January. Wastewater collection and treatment monthly sampling was submitted to the lab for the month of January. Standby power was tested and documented over the course of an actual power interruption on January 28th. Standby power was used while Hydro made the connection to activate the service for the new wastewater treatment plant. So as of today, actually, they are running under their own service. So that's finally been completed. Recreation center staff continue to perform cleaning and building checks on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays of each week. One new deep fryer has been ordered from Russell Hendricks Foods of Thunder Bay to replace one of the old fryer units in the restaurant. Marina Center and Park, Public Works staff continue to perform weekly inspections of the Marina building and fuel kiosk. Public Works has been performing snow removal and plowing in the park as time and priorities permit. Some general issues. Public Works have been primarily working on snow removal and plowing duties over the course of this reporting period. Hydro was required to make repairs to a down service line on Upper Timmins Street. The service line provides power for 3 streetlights that had been out. Hydro also had to make a repair for another streetlight at the top end of Stewart Avenue. Superior Electric was in town on February 5th to repair streetlights. The issue for outages had to be addressed from Hydro, as I just mentioned. 1 tree was trimmed on Newton street from Superior while they were here. The tree limbs had been damaged from an earlier snowstorm that were threatening to fall. The green sea can that was in the Public Works shop parking area for collecting electronic waste has been removed as the provincial program was discontinued as of December 31st, 2020. A new program run under the EPRA, and I think I wrote the wrong description for the acronym, but it's the Electric Products Recycling Association, has taken its place. The collection containers offered through the new program are small plastic reinforced cubicles on pallets. They have been placed where the old container had been situated. So that we're gonna try these containers out. It's not quite what we are hoping for, but they're free. We'd have to start paying rent on the C-can if we wanted to continue with that. So we'll
So
see how it goes.
these containers are just available for the community to just go and drop off electronics?
Electronic waste, yeah.
Oh, nice.
And then the final point, standby generators for the Public Works facility and rec center continue to be tested monthly by staff. And that's my report.
Blair, a couple of points, if I might. I really want to extend congratulations to the Public Work boys that have done one really fantastic job of removing snow. I really appreciate it, particularly around my corner where it's very, very busy and there's kids going to school. They've done a heck of a good job, and I hope that congratulation is extended to them. The other thing is, I was wanting to know how will they be picking up, and what sort of electronic waste are there sort of limitations or anything in particular that you can share with us right now as to this new system, this electronic waste and recycling system?
Nothing really has changed. They're still collecting the same type of items, but I do have some signage that I was thinking about putting up just so people are aware of what they can actually dispose of. I haven't been able to get that signage up yet, but I'll make an attempt to do that for sure.
Maybe we could share that on Facebook too, or
Sure.
on
Yeah.
our website.
Thanks, Blair.
All right.
Hey, Blair, I just had a question too. The deep fryer there, was that out of capital or operating, and how much was it?
It's approximately $3,000 to replace the one fryer. I don't have no idea how old those fryers actually are, but I'm thinking they're probably 20 to 25 years old. So we've
Did
got
we have
money.
Did we have that in capital?
Yeah, that was
That's a
a capital purchase. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. The other thing I had a question too is safety talks in the next report, because I know we had mentioned last council meeting, we're gonna get some training and stuff. So could we get some updates on the safety talks and training
Yeah,
that you
for
guys
sure.
have done? That's awesome. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay, good stuff.
Does anybody else have any questions? So one thing I just want to bring up, so I know other councillors have discussed it and have been approached. So we all know that Ignace got that snow gate, right, for their, I'm going to say the wrong piece of equipment. Grader. Yes. So I've talked to you about it and talked to the Public Works Department. And can you give us any information on it, or how do you feel about it?
We're a little bit skeptical that it will work for us, just because our driveways are situated so close together. I mean, but we're not opposed to going and checking it out. I just would hope that doesn't slow down the snow removal process, because it does take considerable time right now, especially when we have significant snowfall.
Do you think it'd be beneficial if we send somebody to Ignace to go and look at it, since there is no one around here, right? I don't know any other community that
I think Ignace is, yeah, as far as I know anyway, is the only town in our region that has it. So yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I don't know how the rest of the council feels, but I think it doesn't hurt to go and look at it. and
No,
see.
certainly
I
not.
know yeah, so I know ours is a winged machine, right? The other one, the guys are feeling maybe it was straight across. So it might take us 3 tries to go up and down the street, which takes even longer. So that wouldn't be beneficial to us, but you don't know until you actually go see it and maybe, see how it works and how it would work for our town.
Yeah, the extension is on the mow board of the grader, not the wing.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't know. It might be worth taking a look at. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if you want to move ahead and look, try and schedule something with Ignace, if you can
Sure.
meet up with them and, residents are asking for it, so we might as well try and see if this is a possibility. Okay, thank you. And that's it, Fire Chief, nothing to report at this time. And that's it. So we have the Red Rock Library. So I'll read that one. Meeting was January 12th, 2021. We had a presentation from the Ontario Library Services North, Melissa Delfrino Jones, the CEO. And it was a virtual meeting, a slideshow about the amalgamation of OLSN and the Souls Board. What that means for us is that any municipality with 2,500 people or less, you can have 2 people on that board. So there's quite a few of it because the majority of library boards are lower townships or lower, resident township numbers. So we'll get 2. So we're putting our name forward. Doesn't mean that we'll be selected, but we are interested in that position. And we just, again, discussed COVID. Right now, we're still doing curbside. Our next meeting is March. I'm going to get the date wrong, beginning of March anyways. And that's when we'll look at actually opening up with limited people in the building and following all the COVID rules. But as of right now, we're still going to be doing curbside. Checks were passed in the amount of $1,062.09. And that's it. Not much to really say there. Anybody have questions? Okay. So unfinished business, we have the West End Nipigon Bay Lake Trout restocking update from Councillor Tedesco.
Thank you, Mayor Robinson. This committee has been kind of on hold, awaiting response from the Deputy Policy Division person for the M&R in Toronto, Adam Belowski. We're getting assistance from Wendy Landry, who's quite well versed with that ministry. I wanted to add, though, there was another committee that I attended on the 8th of this month, and it was the National Marine Conservation Authority interim committee meeting, and the issue of the lake trout restocking was mentioned. This was a Zoom meeting, and there was oh my gosh, there had to have been 15 people sort of on this Zoom. And when I mentioned the interest that Red Rock was certainly part of the interest with the MMCR, whatever, NMCA, and I mentioned about the lake trout restocking, I was absolutely amazed just watching the screens, and everybody's heads were bobbing up and down. Yes, they were very much in favor of it. Anyhow, coming back to the process of the restocking, we're awaiting from the deputy minister. There was a lot of optimism back, and this has been a slow process back in October. So hopefully we'll be able to report something within the next 2-4 weeks and get something favorable going. The local people are very much in favor. A number of guides and tourist type people that provide that service, and are really looking forward to that kind of addition to the West End Nipigon Bay resources. So that's where we're at right now. I hope to be able to report again within the next 2 to 4 weeks, hopefully more favorable responses. That's it.
Thank you. Okay, acknowledgement of volunteers for the community rink. Gord, would you like to speak to that?
Yeah, I just want to start off by saying that the Red Rock Outdoor Rink is fully operational and running, and it is getting a lot of use. The amount of work that the volunteers have put into that, it's been unbelievable. It's a daily job. You have a group of people here that have put amount of time in and dedication, and it's one of those things where that ice is beautiful. It's just absolutely beautiful. Ray Weldon, he built benches, he got all the wood, he organized everything with the help of Tara Hardy through Red Rock Minor Hockey, and from then on we just started putting everything together. And Bruce Brake came out from Newfoundland to give us a hand. He's been out there helping every single day. Sam Sobush as well too. This is -40 weather, and they're out there with hoses. They're hopping fences. We see Tom come back. When he comes back, he's out there every single day. They've been running water from both the Saunders house and the Stevenson house. And when you're flooding a rink with 3 lengths of hose, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of dedication. They're out there, wind, and they all should be thanked for it. It's just been a lot of work. If you see them wearing these sweaters right here, that was a little thank you coupon, or not coupons or sweaters, but there was a thank you for the outdoor rinks. And so if you see them around town, thank them, because it's been a lot of work and a lot of dedication, and that ice is as good as it can get. We're very proud of the work everybody's put in out there.
Thank you. And also to the Red Rock Fire Department for their assistance, and anyone and then everyone that had helped out. So we may have missed some people, but the hardcore families of McDonald, Weldon, Sobush, Stevenson, Danny Saunders, they don't have kids, but they helped out for sure. So we do have a resolution. There was additional costs, so the Township of Red Rock would like to pay the additional water costs to the households of Danny Saunders and Percy Stevenson. It's $178.37. I'm looking for a resolution to pass that we cover the extra water costs for those guys. Okay, so.
May I second?
I have Gord and Melissa. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, moved by Gord, seconded by Melissa, be resolved that the municipality of Red Rock pay the extra water cost to the households of Danny Saunders and Percy Stevenson in the amount of $178.37 for flooding of the outdoor rink. All in favor? Again, thank you to all those involved. I know there's lots of kids going out there and enjoying it, and I love the look of the new benches. Looks great. Okay, new business. So we have the 2020 reserve fund allocation. Albert, you'd like to speak to that?
Yes, same as last year. Administration requires council's approval for the 2020 budget allocation of $245,498 to be dispersed into the following 8 reserve accounts as follows. Each allocation, capital reserve fund, they're all going to be getting basically $30,687.25. Library capital, same amount. Public Works capital, same. Rec capital, the same. Sewer capital, $30,687.25. They're all the same, basically. Account 6, water capital, 7, working capital, and then the employee retirement fund as well. So when we look at this year, once we add those disbursements, those reserve fund disbursements, the fire department will have a total of $98,216.96. Library capital will be $68,371.91. Public Works Capital, 71,682.66. Rec Capital, 80,411.45. Sewer Capital, 96,823.99. Water Capital, 134,427.58. Working Capital, 61,701.86. And Employee Retirement Fund will be 61,941.80. When you add all the allocations up, it gives you a total of 673,578.21. Other accounts, 50,000 in the ACA reserve fund, project removed reserve fund 6,400 for a total of 56,444.20. We also have federal gas tax. When we look at that account, basically with the amount that'll be going in, I believe around June of 54,301.86, it'll give us a total of 320,701.01. OCIF fund, and we've already used 60,000 last year for the bridge, with the additional 50,000 coming in, I believe, in July, will give us 114,845.65. And then grants 107,220.07 is left from the previous one. So when you add up all the basically these particular grants that we can use for capital funding, comes to 433,766.73. I just put the municipal generating operating account in there at that particular time. It's an open account, running account, so it fluctuates up and down. So in total, this is what we have.
Albert, can you explain a couple of the acronyms, the ACAR, RF?
It's a provincial grant, basically reserve fund of 104, as far as I know. I was going to look into that today. That's been there for a couple of years, so I'll have to dig a little deeper in that. But it is a reserve fund. And then a project removed, my memory serves me correctly, it was an allocation of funds that was to a project. That's what's remaining in it. So we'll have to look at probably dispersing that into another account.
And the OCIF, is that the gas? No, that's not the gas.
No,
What is
that's
that?
Ontario Community Infrastructure and Ontario Community Infrastructure Fund. And that's basically what we get in. We get 50,000 a year in for that. And the federal gas tax, we get 54,301.86 is their allocation annually. These funds, there's different eligibilities that you can use in regards to capital funding on roads, rec center, etc.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a resolution here to pass the fund allocations. I need a mover and a seconder.
May I move?
Cam and Melissa. Moved by Cam, seconded by Melissa, be resolved that council approve the 2020 reserve budget allocation of 245,498,000 to be dispersed into the 8 reserve funds identified CAO report reserve fund allocation dated Tuesday, February 16, 2021. All in favor? 4.
No, for me, I thought it was an afterthought that we need less accounts. There's less accounts. I mean, that was there's a lot of reconciliations. I mean, I don't know if that's something we could look at after the fact, narrowing down the accounts, keeping more money in one spot instead of having so many locations. If this resolution's passed, is that something we can look at adjusting after the fact?
Yes, it is. Well, we can look at this on the 2021 budget deliberations.
Okay. So all in favor? 3, 4. Okay. So at the sale of 18.22 acres for residential development.
Thank you. Administration, previous Mayor Gary Nelson and council in relation to the sale of the proposed residential development of vacant property of lots 2 and 3, Registered Plan 55R 1089 Baker Road back in late 2019. The purpose of this endeavor was to inspire and seek an investor for the construction of a residential subdivision for the purpose of the township growth and revenue generation, along with providing supply and demand in the housing market. With the onset of COVID-19, as you know, a delay was contributed towards this initiative. The property is approximately 18.22 acres identified from impact and an assessment value of $34,500 and an independent evaluation required by regulation of a market value price of $88,500 for this vacant land, as is. As supplied and indicated previously to the mayor and council by investor Bruno's Construction of Thunder Bay, the development will consist of 19 single residential lots, housing units, 6 medium density housing units, and 1 density housing unit. High density housing unit, I'm sorry. Single family residential housing unit means a residential structure built and intended for use and occupancy of a single family and which is constructed on a lot designed a single family residential lot. All this must comply, as you know, to the official plan and zoning bylaw and the amendments thereof and the particulars we put under the H code category. Medium density means a dwelling containing 3 or more dwelling units located side by side, with each dwelling unit having its own access to grade, must comply to official plan and zoning bylaw and amendments thereof, as council has put in place. High density residential development means an apartment dwelling or a condo of minimum 4 stories or containing more than 65 dwelling units must comply with the official plan and zoning bylaw and amendments thereof. There were conditions identified and put in place for the sale of this property, which was identified in the site-specific amendment to the official plan and zoning bylaw back in 2020. This was implemented for the protection of the township of Red Rock to ensure all regulatory agency review and approval prior to the subdivision plan being presented to council for acceptance. Administration has received through real estate representative a conditional offer of purchase from Bruno's Construction with the following conditions. As you must appreciate and understand, this gentleman is taking all the risk. He is putting a down payment of $5,000 on this property, and it's effective as of tomorrow. He wants a completion of a level 1 and 2 environmental assessment of the said property prior to moving forward, which is going to be a requirement anyways from the applicable agencies. And then he will have to submit a residential subdivision plan and the approval from applicable regulatory agencies and final approval and acceptance from the Township of Red Rock to ensure that he is compliant to all the site-specific amendments to the official plan and zoning bylaw. Once this is completed and the township agrees, a final payment of $88,500 minus the deposit in trust will be presented to the township, and he'll continue on with the development, basically. Township obligation, as he requests, is a lift station and main connection to the subdivision infrastructure, water, sewer. As you realize, Mayor, we did have discussions with some ministries in regards to this, and they were basically receptive to our requesting for funding. So funding for this commitment and responsibility of the township will apply for federal provincial funding. We have time to do that and go forward as offered under the Green Stream grant funding process. The estimate cost for this initiative is 15% engineering, 10% contingency, and the material is around $600,000. That's all added together, the $600,000 with the 50% engineering and 10% contingency material. We feel going forward, once the subdivision plan and the details are provided in regards to costing of the infrastructure, it will come in less than that. This is high at a high end, and therefore, if we have local contractors nearby, or even this particular construction company, we could probably get it done at a lower cost as well. So I require a resolution to move this conditional offer to purchase and the pending outcomes required prior to residential development.
Albert, may I ask a question first?
Yeah, go ahead.
According to the original description, there's going to be 19 single residential lots, 6 medium density, 1 high density. According to our definitions, it would appear that the medium density will be a minimum of 3 or more unit dwellings. So 6 of those times 3 would be 18 units, right? And then the
Not
high.
necessarily. It says minimum of 3 units. You could go up to actually a 6 or 8 plex if you wanted to, which I am assuming they're going to use as much available land as possible on building.
Yeah.
As
So
long
what
as they
I'm
have the
saying is
parking spots in the green.
what I'm saying is there's a minimum of 18 medium density housing units. Then when you look at the definition of the high density residential, it talks about containing more than 65 dwelling units. So one of those 4-story is going to have at least 65 dwelling units. This is going to be a nice high rise just by the lake front. Would I be correct in that? So we would be looking at 19 single, minimum of 18 medium, and 1 high rise, which would be 65 or more.
I will agree with you on your single. I'll agree with you on the high rise. I will differ you on the medium density, as I feel that he'll basically, because of cost, he'll probably build more if he can, depending on what our zoning bylaw is and what's required under what he can do under the building code in regards to the amount of land that he can build on, and also our official plan.
Well,
and zoning bylaws.
just adding all this up, it looks like
Yeah.
quite a number of living units that's going to be going into that spot, and that's wonderful. That's fantastic. Thank you.
That's correct. That's correct. And it's in the process of going forward right now. As you know, that with the snow here, it's going to take at least to June before you can start the environmental assessment on that particular property. And then from there, it's all going forward. So hopefully we get a good review, good report from the environmental assessment so that this project will proceed.
I have a question also. So I agree with all the conditions, but about the last part, because the funding is not 100% certain, do we have some type of plan on how we would pay for that? Like, is that going to come out of taxes?
Well, it's not
Would
our
we have-
plan, it's Councillor, it's not our plan to levy taxes on this particular subdivision. What we want to do is to get some growth and development in here where we'll get revenue coming in. We've been more or less assured from our provincial counterparts and federal counterparts that we've had some meetings with, that they don't feel that there'll be an issue as us applying for that infrastructure money going forward. As you realize, we did get 2 other grants, both by the Green ICIP this year for the rec center, and also for the road infrastructure for Brompton, Newton, and Stadler. So we feel 100% confident that we'll get this grant. Worst comes to worst, if we have to borrow, we have to borrow. That's not our plan going forward, to be quite honest with you.
Okay, so we're not expecting any tax increases?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. All right.
Any other questions? No? Okay, I need a mover and seconder for the sale of the property.
May I second?
Gord and Cam. Moved by Gord, seconded by Cam. Council approve this, be it resolved that the council approve the sale of the residential subdivision vacant property known as Lot 2 and 3 RP 55R 10890, 18.22 acres with the assessment value of 34,500 and an independent market value price of 88,500 based on conditions identified. All in favor? Okay. Now we have purchase of LCBO property, 53 Salt Street.
Thank you, Worship. Administration engaged council, as you realize, to the purchase of this vacant LCBO property back in November of 2020 on 53 South Street, adjacent to the old Vault building. Nothing was confirmed back then in relation to if they would sell it to us whatsoever. But the purpose of this endeavor was to acquire this site to combine both properties into one and sell as one commercial property for new development. The property is approximately built 40 feet frontage, 90 feet in depth. I give you the PIN number and the roll number for a price of $9,500 plus legal registry of $950. The assessed value is $7,000 to impact is $7,800, and the original market price is $15,000. With recent promoting of residential commercial development for the township requires adequate downtown property to inspire interest towards retail development. This is one said property that council could consider to purchase. Council also needs to provide direction in relation to selling of existing properties such as the canop that could be used for commercial building or a repair shop and the old Texaco site. Therefore, administration recommends to purchase this property and combine the lots for commercial sale and development. Begin to explore and identify excess lands that could contribute to revenue sale and community residential commercial development throughout the township. We have a lot of property, and we should be looking at identifying exactly the size of these properties and what the market value assessment would be for these. And the reason for that is I've been getting quite a few calls from people all over Ontario that are interested to move back to Red Rock, and they want to know if there's properties for sale so that they can build on or basically buy. So I usually send them to the real estate agent for that. But in regards to looking at properties for residential development, and if they're standalone infill sites, we should probably be looking at unloading these, for a market value assessment so that people can build on those sites with a stipulation that once they bought these properties, as I said before in the policy, that they have a year to basically start building. And that's what you usually see in a lot of municipalities.
Albert,
still
two
wanna keep-
questions, please.
Go ahead.
First of all, the Canop and the Texaco sites, those are township properties now, I take it?
That's correct.
Okay, and the other one is, I believe both of these have had their fuel tanks removed. I don't know that the soil has been remediated, but do you know if the fuel tanks have been removed?
From what I've been told from the previous mayor, the fuel tanks have been removed, but there has been no environmental assessment conducted on those. Therefore, I would, I'd probably recommend sell as is and let
Yes.
them know that these were once basically had tanks in them. But that being said, as long as they don't disrupt the land, and we'd have to check this out, if we sell as is, then basically, they take the responsibility if they have to do anything, not us.
Thank you.
So the resolution that we have coming up is this purchase of the LCBO lot. So we've had a lot of interest in the old vault, but it's, you can't run anything out of it. It's basically needs to be demolished. So it's our goal to combine these two lots, have somebody tear it down, have it ready, get it ready for somebody to come and invest, build, maybe, 2 or 3 small sites, and we can rent them out, or they can rent them out. It wouldn't be us. But I'm not saying who the businesses are, but there are some people in town that want to start some businesses up. So there is a lot of interest here. So hopefully we can get this done. So I need a mover and a seconder for the purchase of the LCBO property. Gordon, sir. Moved by Gord, seconded by Sarah. Be it resolved that council approve the purchase of the vacant LCBO property located at 53 Saul Street. Roll number 584-10000009700 for $9,500 and conditions thereof. All in favor? Okay, so this came to us over the weekend, so that's why it's added. So as we know, EMS is being looked at by the city of Thunder Bay in the strat plan, combining Red Rock Nipigon or Skyber Terrace Bay, and also getting rid of the Beardmore Station. So the municipality of Greenstone sent us a resolution that we would like to support. So I'm going to read their resolution, and then if people choose, we can pass a resolution to support this and send that off to the city. Dear Mayor and Council, please be advised that the Council Municipality of Greenstone at the regular council meeting of January 8, 2021 passed the following resolution. Resolution number 21-11, moved by Councillor Blanchard and seconded by Councillor Assad. Whereas the city of Thunder Bay has been presented with a proposed 2021-2030 paramedic service master plan, whereas the plan calls for the closure of the emergency medical services EMS base in the community of Beardmore, whereas paramedic services is a critical service to area residents throughout the district of Thunder Bay, whereas there has been little to no consultation or dialogue with the municipality community or area First Nations on the proposal it impacts or to find potential mutually satisfactory resolutions. Whereas Beardmore is 85 kilometers from the nearest EMS base and hospital, resulting in 170 round trip, nearly 2-hour response time from time of call to arrival to hospital for emergency medical calls. Whereas the proposed changes will also impact the ability to serve other communities as units would now be tied up for an additional 2 hours per call to Beardmore. Whereas the proposal to leave EMS for when the clinic is closed does not take into account the important factors such as calls would still require a dispatch of a unit from Nipigon or Geraldton, the future growth of population of First Nation communities, or that the clinics is not open 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year. Whereas if carried out, the proposal to close the base in Beardmore will have severe life-threatening impacts going forward. Be it resolved that the Council of the Municipality of Greenstone is opposed to the 2021-2030 Paramedic Master Plan in its current form, and that the Council of the Municipality of Greenstone calls the Council of the City of Thunder Bay to not approve the plan as presented and ensure that proper dialogue regarding these types of decisions occur moving forward. And that it being sent to this Council of the City of Thunder Bay, the Minister of Health, as well as municipalities and First Nations in the District of Thunder Bay. So we do have a resolution here. Council supports the Municipality of Greenstone Resolution 21-11 regarding the City of Thunder Bay proposed paramedic service master plan. Do we have a mover and seconder for this?
May I second?
Sarah and Cam. Moved by Sarah, seconded by Cam. Council supports the Municipality of Greenstone Resolution 21-11 regarding the City of Thunder Bay proposed 2021-2030 paramedic service master plan. All in favor? Okay. And Albert, you're going to be sending something off to them, right? That we are supporting their resolution?
That is correct.
Okay. Okay, we're going to be going in camera. And this is to receive the advice that is subject to solicitor-client privilege, including communications necessary for that purpose. I need a mover and seconder. Sarah and Melissa. Moved by Sarah, seconded by Melissa. Be resolved that council be moved in camera at 7:58. In order to address the matter pertaining to receiving the advice that is subject to solicitor. We don't expect this to be long, but we'll be back in a few minutes. Make sure everyone has their mics on. Yeah. Hey, everybody's back. Okay, I need a mover and a seconder to come out of camera. Gord, Melissa. Okay, moved by Gord, seconded by Melissa. Be
I
resolved.
can't hear you.
What? Put your headphones on.
Oh,
We can hear you.
I got my earphones on now. Sorry.
Moved by Gord, seconded by Melissa. Be it resolved that council come out of in camera at 8:23 p.m. All in favor? Okay. What we discussed was an active investigation, and we were getting advice from legal counsel. I'd just like to say Red Rock Township wants to send their condolences to the Township of Scriber and to the family of the late Mayor Dave Hamilton, who passed away on the weekend. We send our sympathies. Okay, so we're gonna close the meeting. I need a mover and seconder. Anyone else? Moved by Sarah, seconded by Gord, be resolved that the meeting be adjourned at 8:24. All in favor? All in favor? Okay, thanks,
Night.
everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night. Good job, everybody. Have a good night.